Hello everybody and welcome back to my garage 0 to Hero. Alright, so it's the middle of the week and yeah, we've got a little bit of a project going on here at the house. So as you can see, we are busy putting up a carport here in front of the garage, which I think is going to help a little bit with our parking situation for our pickup truck. So yeah, there's definitely some development on this side, and we also have got a little bit of a development going on over here. So yes, we are actually extending the carport here for the ramp truck as well. So yeah, this is going to keep it a little bit out of the sun, because I do want to start working on this thing and getting its paint job sorted out, making it all nice and shiny again. So I thought, well, might as well put a roof up there, and at least it's going to be out of the sun during the day. So yeah, that's a little bit of development going on. So we are definitely going to be busy today. As you can see, we've got a lot of work to do. So first in line, we've got all the parts from Richard's BMW. So those parts have arrived. And yes, I also received a payment from him this morning, very early. He was here around 6 o'clock already. He dropped off the money, 20,000 bucks, for all the work we are going to do to this car for him. So yeah, that includes all of the paint work we had to do to all of these parts. So everything is nice and painted, and I think everything is basically ready to go onto the car. So yes, this is one of the projects we're going to be working on today. As for the 67 Limpala, we do have the interior ready to go in. So I had to make a little bit of a temporary plan just to get this thing mobile again. I had to mount the dashboard and just a temporary seat. Just to get this thing out from under the roof here, and yeah, we're going to be installing this interior. There's quite a bit of mixing and matching going on here. As you can see, we've got some different colors for the interior as well as for the door cards. So yeah, I think everything is going to come together very nicely on this car once we start putting it back together. So once again, this is another project we are going to try and take on today. As for mechanical work on the car, we haven't touched the engine just yet, so we are going to be sorting the engine out soon. So that is at least something to look forward to with regards to the 67 Limpala over here. But I think the project that everybody is really very interested in would be Eric's 1968 Dodge Charger. So yes, they actually did bring all of the parts for us for the interior, as well as the vinyl roof that has been refurbished. So it is basically as good as new. We are just going to finish putting everything together on this car today. So yeah, we should actually be able to push it out, because I did loosen the handbrake. And yeah, you'll also notice we've got a secondary lift now. So this is the last lift that little Louis had available at his shop. So we are going to start using the lift inside the garage here. I'm not too sure about clearance on top, if it's going to be sufficient for all the vehicles we bring into the garage, but at least for just swapping out wheels and tires, it should be, yeah, it should actually suffice for that. All right, so let's just put this car over here for now. We're just gonna put on the handbrake so it stops rolling around. All right, so let's basically get into this car. We've got a lot of things to do on it still. There's a couple of pieces of trim. We've got all the taillights and headlights and stuff that needs to go in. So yeah, we are definitely going to do quite a lot of work today. Now let's just put this onto the shelf over there for now. Right, so I think let's start with our interior. So we're going to grab the rear seat. We should start with this probably and get this out of the way. Alright, so let's put this into position like that. And we are going to need our toolbox, which is probably outside. I did do a couple of things outside here this morning. Just checking a couple of things out. So let's just grab it. We're gonna come over here to the car and just put it down over here for now. And let's just hop in and come and tighten some bolts. All right, so just like that, our rear seat is into position. And I think let's tackle the rear panels next. So I think this one would have to go first. So this is for the rear left. Alright, so that goes onto there, and we've got a bolt over there. So all of these interior pieces are in fact new pieces. So we are just going to install all of these, and I think this is definitely the final piece of the puzzle here. There should actually be a bolt back there. Alright, I think we've got it. Alright, we're going to repeat the process for the rear right first of all. Alright, so let's grab this one first. Alright, let's pop that back onto its corner over here. Just like that. Alright, so there's a bolt there, and there should be another one behind the seat. I actually think we should have done this first. Before mounting the seat, but we're just going to try and fiddle around here until we find it. Alright, there we go. So that panel is tightened up quite nicely. So let's grab the rear right panel for the top upper half of the whole panel here. Alright, so it's got the 2 bolts over there. And just like that, so that is our interior sorted at the back. So now we're going to start tackling the front door panels. So these are also 2-piece. So we're just going to get this one fitted first of all. And then we'll grab the other one, which just goes on the inside of that. Alright. And that goes onto there. I've got the 2 bolts over there. Right, so that is all sorted. Alright, so next up we are going to do the opposite side. So we've got this panel. Front left, we're just going to bolt it down over there and right over there. And this one is the last piece of the puzzle for the front door. Let's just get that bolted down. Alright, perfect. So there we go. That is our door panels sorted. So now we can go ahead and put our dashboard in. So I think the dashboard will require a screwdriver. Let's just pop this lower piece of the dashboard in first of all. And yes, those are in fact screws. So let's come over here. We're going to just grab our screwdriver firstly. And just make sure we find all of the screws. I think those are the ones for that side. And then we've got 2 on this side. So that is our lower dashboard installed. And now we just need to grab this top dash pad. And we're going to grab this and pop it into place. And there are also these 2 screws over there. And that is our dashboard sorted. So everything is nice and new. Everything is fresh. And I think Eric's going to be happy with the interior on this car now, because he definitely wanted to stick with the white interior. So the last few bits we need to do are basically the seats, the steering column, and of course our gear shifter over here. Alright, so there we go. That's our gear shifter into position. Alright, perfect. Alright, next up let's grab our front, well, not really front, but our steering column. And that'll just go in over there. And we've got 4 bolts on this actually. So I think the old steering column was definitely damaged, because we struggled to get to all of these bolts when I had to remove that. But that one actually, it's much better, and it's definitely the way it should be. Right, so next up we've got some front seats to mount. So let's grab our passenger seat firstly. Alright, so that goes in there. And let's just bolt it down. Same on these 2. Perfect. And then last but not least, we've got this seat for the driver's side. And there we go. So once this is bolted up, we are basically done with the interior on this car. And now we can start putting the exterior back together. So for that, I actually want to fire this thing up again and just see if we can pull it back up onto the lift. And that way we know everything is working on the car. So let's just move this box out of the way. We'll put it in front of the door for now. So yeah, we need to get the wheels mounted and all of these trim pieces. So let's just bring the car back a little bit and yeah, obviously see if it still fires up. I believe everything should be fine. But let's see what it does if we try and turn the key now. And there we go, right on the money. Right, so we're just gonna reverse it back slowly. And the brakes are still very good. Alright, just like that. Should be able to open the door. And we'll just pop it into neutral for now. So so we can push it a little bit at a time. Just like that. That is perfect. Right, let's move these lift arms out on this side a bit. Right, that one should actually reach. There we go. Right, come around this side. And I think, yeah, that one's actually fine. And that one should do the trick as well for us. Alright, let's get this thing lifted up a bit. Alright, so there we go. So the car is now in the air. And I think it's time we quickly grab all of these trim pieces and just slap them onto place. So there we go. That's our front right fender. This is our rear right trim. It just goes above the wheel over there. This one is for the front left. Put that into place. And the last one, go on this fender or quarter panel over there. And our trunk panel trim, just like that. And then I think we can grab our grille. So let's see if the grille goes back into place. Perfect. And we do have got 2 bolts. Alright, so those are bolts in fact. Alright, so let's grab the wrench. Just gonna bolt them both down, and that'll secure our grille into place. Alright, so let's grab our bumpers. This is the rear bumper. Right, so let's just be sure to bolt all of these down. So there's nothing on the side over there. I think the front bumpers do have bolts on the side. So let's grab our front bumper. Gonna get it into position there. And yes, just as I said, we've got the ones on the sides and then the 2 over there. And the same story on this side. Just like that, everything is bolted down properly. Right, so as for the rest of these pieces of trim, I think they all just basically snap into place. As for the taillights, I think these actually screw down, so we're going to have to grab our screwdriver. Alright, so let's bring our toolbox back inside. Alright, so let's grab this. We're going to just put it down. I think over here would be good. Alright, screwdriver. Let's just screw that down over there. Let's grab the other one. Alright, and that screws down over there. As for the gas filler cap, this should actually just pop into place over here. And yeah, that seems to be working perfect. Alright, and what else do we have? We've got these reverse lights. I think these also screw down all the way under here. Here we go. We've got 2 screws on each. Perfect. Let's just grab the other one. Alright, there we go. So that's our reverse light installed. Mirrors. I can't recall if these actually have any screws, so let's just check this out quick. Alright, yes, we do have a screw on this side. And I believe it'll be the same on the opposite side. Alright, and there we go. That's our screw down on that side. And these are the badges for the doors. They just go over there. So let's grab this one as well for the opposite side. Alright, there we go. Yeah, that is quite a lot of little nitty gritty things that this car needs. We've got these side markers as well. They go into the fenders. This is for our front right. Which one is this? This is for the rear right. Alright, just pop it into there. And then the last one goes on the back left. Right over there. And yeah, that I think is most of it. We still got these 2 blinkers for the front. So this is our passenger side blinker. And once again, there are 2 screws on this. And same for the front left. Let's just get that into position. And we'll just screw it down. Alright, so that is looking very good. So now the final touch to this puzzle would be obviously the wheels and tires, which I think is going to definitely make this car. Alright, so let's get these old crusty wheels removed once again. So yeah, these wheels have been very handy so far in terms of painting vehicles and just generally moving vehicles up and down. So these are definitely worth keeping around. They sure came in handy quite a bit. Right, so let's just chuck these outside the door. Alright, we're going to also remove these two on this side. Alright, and the last one. Let's just get this wheel off as well. And there we go. So all of the old wheels are removed. So now we can finally get our wheels mounted with the spacers over here. So we do have these 100mm spacers. So we're just going to pop all four of these on their corners. Right, so there we go. Alright, so all four of the wheel spacers are in position. So now let's grab our wheels. And one by one we will just bolt them all down. Alright, and there we go. So I am very happy how this thing turned out. We just need to lower it down and see how it sits again. And just let the suspension settle a bit. Right, we'll get the lift arms out from under it. Alright, and let's do the same on this side. Alright, and just like that. And now we can just gently push it a bit forward. Alright, and let's jump into this thing and pull it outside. I would definitely want to see what this thing is going to look like in the sun. Alright, and there we go. So let's pull this thing outside so we can have a proper look at this thing. Alright, well, there she is. Very pretty in Panther pink with the white vinyl roof, and we've got the black oversized wheels on this thing. It's definitely a little bit of a transformation from what it was when we got it at first. I remember that rear end was damaged quite badly. And also we had some bent panels on the front here, which we managed to sort out. Luckily, these fenders weren't too badly damaged. Under the hood, we've got a brand new bolt engine built by Eric himself. And it actually works very well in the engine bay. It definitely suits the car very nicely. So yeah, that is definitely something to be proud of. I think Eric is going to enjoy this car a lot from now on. Let's just hope that he doesn't get into any more accidents, because that is definitely, it's a lot of work trying to fix up a car like that. But yes, I think we did quite an amazing job on this thing, and I really do hope I made Eric proud. So yeah, that is Eric's 1968 Dodge Charger finished and completed. So what I'm going to do is we are just going to park it somewhere a little bit secure, and then we are going to start tackling Richard's BMW E36, which we've got to just mount the body kit and the new wheels and tires, and then that car will also be done. Alright, well, there we go. So that is Eric's car done and dusted. So now we just need to quickly pack up our tools over here in the garage, because I want to go and, yeah, obviously assemble Richard's car now. I still got a little bit of cleanup work to do in the garage. I haven't done anything yesterday. I had to assist the guys busy with the carports over here. So obviously things are still a little bit messy. And yeah, we are going to get to that and clean up this place a bit. Alright, but yes, without any further delay, let's start putting panels back onto this thing. It's not really a lot of work. It's quite simple. So we've got these side skirts already painted, so they just pop into place on the side. Alright, let's grab it on this side, just like that. Alright, so we've got our side skirts on. Alright, so I think what we're going to do now is let's grab our rear bumper. Alright, we are going to just get it into position like that. So we're going to open our trunk, and then just be sure to bolt down every single bolt on this bumper. There we go, that is nice and secure. Alright, let's come down over here because we do have a replacement exhaust tip coming onto this thing. So out with the old stock muffler, and we'll just chuck it over here on the table, I think. Yeah, just put it there for now. Whoops, there goes our trim. Alright, but that's fine. It's still there, luckily. Alright, let's grab our new muffler. Let's get it into position. And let's just bolt it down over there. Right, I think while we are back here and the trunk is open, let's grab our spoiler. Right, so the spoiler just snaps onto there, and then we are going to just secure it with the 2 bolts on each side. And just like that. And there we go. So that is our spoiler fitted. Right, next up we are going to mount this little emblem at the back. So this is in fact an M3 body kit we are putting on this car. So we've got to have the right badges on it as well. So we also have got the ones for the side trim. So this just pops onto the trim itself, just like that. And let's just quickly do the other side here as well. Plain straightforward, nothing to it. Alright, so next up we're going to remove the old normal grill over here. Right, let's just put that down over there for now. Right, so there's the old stock grill. So we do have quite a little bit of parts that's still coming off of this thing. So that is our new grill into position. Right, so let's just put our pry tool back because I think we are done with it for now. Right, so as for the front bumper, let's try and get this thing fitted as well. Right, so the front bumper is in place. Just gotta come over here and bolt it down. And that is nice and secure. Perfect. And now we can probably move over to the next part of this business. So we need to get the hood popped open. Because as you can see, we've got some angel eye headlights that needs to go onto this thing. So we are going to remove the old headlights, obviously, with the screwdriver. So there are 2 screws on each side. And yeah, okay. So obviously I was a little bit mistaken. We still need to pry off the indicators, or the blinkers, as you may call them, from the actual headlight. Right, so let's just pop this off like that. Alright, and then this will probably go onto... Alright, let's just get that off. Alright, let's move this a bit further out of the way. Alright, so that is for the left hand side. Okay, so we're gonna mount our headlight over there. And let's just screw that down. Just like that. And then we'll grab our blinker and just pop it into place. Alright. And now we can do the same with this blinker. I'm gonna pop the blinker off firstly. And I think it should actually pop onto the headlight just like that. Alright, let's come over here. We're going to unscrew the headlight on this side as well. Alright, perfect. So there's our old headlight. And this is our new one with the little angel eyes and also the... Yeah, I don't know what they call these things, the eyelets. So yeah, we've also got some eyelets on these headlights. I think it's a very nice touch. Let's not forget his front license plate. Let's just screw that down as well for him. And that is perfect. That's our front end basically sorted. So what I would like to do now is get the adjustable springs installed. So we're going to need our spring compressor, obviously. So let's grab the 2 front ones first. Right, so it's these ones that are slightly longer. Right, just like that. And there's the other one. Right, and there we go. That is going to give this car a little bit more stance. Right, let's do the rear ones. Nice and simple, nothing to it. And the last one. And there we go, just like that. We've done all of the coilovers, and now we can just get our wheels fitted. So we are going to once again grab all of the wheel spaces here. And just get all of these on each corner, and that way when we mount the wheels, we've got spaces on all 4 corners. Alright, so we've got our first wheel going on. And yeah, those wheel spaces actually seems to fill the gap a little bit better and just making this wheel sit perfectly where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's a little bit too thick. I would have gone with 20 more spaces. But yeah, I think these will still do the job for us. Let's just check it out at the back. Yeah, that is definitely not too bad. I think 20mm spaces would have also done the trick, but yeah, this is what we have at the moment, so we're just going to use it. Alright, and let's get these two wheels mounted as well. Alright, and I think that is about it. So we still need to mount these two door mirrors, but I think for that we can just lower the car down. Alright, and then we're going to get the lift arms out from under it. Alright, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to try and push it back a little bit so that we can actually open the doors. Alright, I think that should do the trick. Alright, and I think we should probably just take this thing to the car wash for a proper cleanup before we send it back to Richard. It's definitely a very nice car. We don't really want to send it back to him dirty like this. Alright, but first let's get these door mirrors removed. So there we go, that's the one. And this is the passenger side one. Alright, and let's just screw that down again. Alright, and the last one over on the driver's side here. Plain and simple, just one little screw that holds the mirror into place. And there we go, let's just grab the last one. Alright, we'll just pop it onto there and screw it down. And there we go, so this car is officially done. Now, I haven't really fiddled with the adjustable suspension, but I'm sure Richard will probably adjust it the way he wants it. But I think that the way that it sits now, it actually looks very good. It's not going to rub anywhere. And we definitely have got a little bit of clearance there. So if you go through a little bit of a bump, it should at least not really scrape too much or rub too much. So yeah, I think what we're going to do, we're also going to pull this car next to the 1968 Charger over there under the newly built carport. Well, the carport that is in the process of being built. Alright, and this car actually fires up quite easily. And you gotta love the sound of this engine. Alright, so that is 2 of the 3 project vehicles we are working on today. Basically done. Everything is as good as it's going to be on these 2 cars. So yeah, we just need to do a little bit of work to our own personal 67 Impala over there. So now that we have got a lift open over there, as you guys may know, in the last episode we did a little bit of wheel swaps on our pickup truck here. We changed all 4 of the wheels, and I noticed there was quite a bit of problems with the brakes on this truck. So it's a little bit concerning, and I want to definitely sort it out as soon as possible before we really start using this thing quite a bit. So yeah, I think it's just going to be safer for us to sort that out and make sure everything is 100%. But what I want to do first of all is just get our interior fitted into this 67 Limpala of ours. We still also need to do engine work on that car, so we might as well tackle that as well if we have a little bit of time, try and get the engine out at least. Alright, but I think what we're going to start with firstly on this car is just remove this old seat. So as you guys know, this is just my temporary seat that I use in vehicles to drive them and to move them about. So this can go ahead and just chill back here in the garage again. And we also need to mount these wheels because I did pay Eric $1,000 for the rims. So those are also going to go on our 67 Impala. Although I did actually paint the rims on the car because I thought maybe it was going to look decent when we put it together. But I figured, well, now that we have the wheels, we might as well just fit them. And then these wheels can probably go over to a next project. But yes, just like that, we've got our carpet mounted. So in order to secure the carpet, we need to mount our front seat. which is I chose a white bench seat for this. So we just need to get to these bolts. They are a little bit tricky to get to under the carpet here, but I'm sure if we fiddle around enough, we should find all of them. Alright, let's come over to this side. And once again, same story. Just gotta find the bolts under the carpet there. And over there, that is perfect. And we already have our gear shifter mounted, so that is good to go. Alright, let's maybe grab this middle panel. So this actually goes just in front of the back seat. Right, so that pops into there. That is nice and secure. And now we're just going to grab our bench seat for the back. Alright, and yeah, it's a little bit tricky sometimes getting this thing in, but once again, same story. We've got bolts under the carpet. I think there's only 2 of them at the front. Alright, so let's just do this one up as well. And there we go. So that's our rear seat into position. Looking very good. So the dashboard is actually already installed. So I went with a black dashpad at the top. We've got the white cluster and then the tan lower part of the dashboard, which actually matches our carpet. So the white seats actually matches the loose floor mats, which we've got in the car. And obviously the cluster is also white. So on the door panels, before we actually get to that, let's just pop our trunk carpet in. So I went with a black trunk carpet. Reason being, if you ever load something in the car that's going to make a mess, at least you won't get your fancy white carpet or your beige carpet filthy. So that is why I went with the black carpet for the trunk. So let's start with our front left over here. So we're going to firstly mount this bigger part of the panel. So these are all held in with bolts. So that is our main door panel basically. So I went with the black for that. And then we've got this beige trim for the bottom on all the doors. And then you have guessed it, we've got the white panel that's going on the top. So we've got a 3-color or a triple color. Yeah, sort of like a mix match of the 3 different colors that we've got on the car now. And I think that is actually going to be very unique. I haven't seen any other 67 Impala with this type of configuration. We do have got these new pieces of chrome, which they should actually just pop into place like that. Alright, and there we go. So those 2 pieces are mounted. And let's quickly do the rear door. Same principle. We've got the black around the outside, the beige for the lower part. And yeah, I guess you can see the pattern we are going with over here. So that is yeah, probably very interesting. I don't know if it's the perfect colors for this car, but it kind of works. It's definitely gonna work out, hopefully. So let's just quickly do the last 2 doors on the passenger side over here. So we do have got the exact same thing going on. Alright, so all of the door panels have been fitted. So now we just need to pop in these pieces of chrome for the doors. And that's the last one. And then we can probably move this car a little bit closer because we've got quite a bit of pieces of trim and glass and all that to mount. So let's move our toolbox just over here for now. Gonna hop into this thing. Alright, and let's get it fired up. Alright, so on the exterior of the car, we have got quite a bit of pieces of trim on the table here. So I think let's just grab stuff and see what we got and then just pop them into place. Starting with our trunk trim. We've got these little chrome pieces on the sides that needs to go back on. Let's just find the other one. There it is. Alright, let's just pop that into there. And let's just move all of the BMW stuff a little bit out of the way. Right, we've got our little trunk badge that goes over there. Taillights, we've got the passenger side taillight over there. This is the driver side taillight. I should be able to pop it in just like that. Alright, let's grab our windows. We've got our rear glass and we've got our front windscreen just like that. And this is our fender chrome for the front right. So that goes over there. And that's our front left one. Just get this over there. Right, all these little pieces of chrome, it makes for a lot of walking up and down, but you guys get the idea. So yeah, everything we need, or actually everything that I want to put on the car is here. So yeah, we've got a BMW headlight over there on the table. Let's just move it over. Right, so these badges are, I think, for the quarter panels that go over here somewhere. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says this is the rear right badge. There it goes. All right, and that one is obviously for the opposite side. All right, so just like that. And then we've got door handles. So this is our driver side door handle. And they just pop into place. And this is our passenger side door. All right, which one is this? This is for the rear right. There we go. So the last one is for the driver's side rear door. Over there. Perfect. Alright, so let's dig into the bigger parts under the table here. We've got our front grille. I still need to check the headlight bulbs in these, because I think they might actually still need some new headlight bulbs for all of them to work. But there we go. The grille actually mounts perfectly. It looks very good. Alright, so we've got some door mirrors. So let's grab our door mirror. Actually forgot about these small little pieces of trim we need to install. Right, so let's grab the other door mirror while we are at it. And there we go, door mirrors are back into place. Right, small window for the front right. That just pops into place as well. Front right window, just like that. And this is the rear right window. It goes over there. And then we've got the roof chrome for the right. And just like that. And let's just go and repeat the process over on the driver's side. Once again, small window. What is this? This is the front left window. So these things all just snap into place. Perfect. And let's grab the last one. And there we go. So that is sorted. Right, I keep kicking this rear bumper, so let's just maybe get it mounted. Alright, so we're just going to bolt it down over there. Alright, so that is looking good. Alright, so that is just a dummy bolt over there. Alright, so this is our front bumper. Let's just do it while we are here with it, so that can get out of the way. Alright, let's just be sure to bolt it down everywhere. Right, no bolts on the sides. Yeah, those are just dummy bolts. Perfect. Alright, let's grab our roof chrome for the left hand side here. Right, that is looking very good. Yeah, this thing is definitely coming together very nicely. Alright, what else we got? We've got these wheel arch trims. So this is for the front left, just like that. Front right. And the last two should be for the back. So we've got the one for the rear right, just here. And the rear left. And there we go. So that is our 67 Limpala put back together. So the last thing that I still need to do on this car is get those new wheels and tires mounted. The ones that came off Eric's Dodge Charger. And I think just to save a bit of time, other than pulling the car up onto one of our 2-post lifts, we are just going to use the floor jack, because we can obviously do 2 wheels at a time. So this isn't really going to be too much of a problem. Alright, so let's get these wheels off. Yeah, I think on the right vehicle, these wheels will actually look very decent. So we'll just put them down somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to find a use for them soon, but yeah, it's better to keep them around because you never know when you might need them. All right, but there's our first wheel. Let's just get this bolted down. All right, and over at the back, I already got some new wheel spacers for here. So I had the 100mm spacers on, but I decided to go with the 50mm spacers. So let's just get this one back onto there. All right, we're going to take this wheel back inside. I'm just going to drop it onto that one. And we're going to grab another wheel over here. All right, there we go. So this side is all done. So we can lower the car down again. All right, perfect. Over to the other side. Let's just do this once again. Lift the car up nice and high. And let's get these old wheels removed. All right, and then we will just get the two new wheels mounted on this side as well. All right, time to hopefully lower this thing down once and for all onto its four wheels. So yeah, that is basically what our 1967 Chevy Impala or Limpala at this stage looks like. It's been quite a bit of a transformation with the color change and all, but I think it all came together very nicely. Also on the interior, I think it actually matches quite well. We've got definitely a very good color scheme going on here, especially with the color that I chose for the car. It just sort of works. I'm not sure if you guys think it looks good. So maybe drop some comments down below. What do you think of our 1967 Limpala paint job and the interior that I chose for this thing? I do recall somebody in the comments mentioned I should go with blue, but that I think would have worked a bit better maybe if we kept the original color of the car, which was sort of a dark blue, almost purple. But I think this is definitely not too bad. So yeah, now that we've got our courtesy vehicle almost up and running, we still need to do a bit of engine work. So there's probably not a whole lot wrong with this engine because it still fires up quite easily. It might need a little bit of a service. We need some new intakes. We need a new cylinder head. Well, not really intakes, just a new intake. The manifold itself looks a little bit worn. Some radiator hoses. The bottom hose still looks decent, but yeah, we've got a rusty pulley over there. Timing belt or the alternator belt doesn't look too fresh either. So yeah, we've got a bad fuel line, but we do have a better one of those lying around. So it's just a matter of putting this thing, yeah, up onto the engine stand once we get it yanked out of the car and sorting that out. But I think at the moment the more important thing to do would be to try and get our truck over here, which we are going to be using a lot more from now on. A little bit more reliable in terms of yeah, brakes and such. The engine itself seems to be decent. We've also got a bad fuel line on this truck that I just noticed. So we might have to do a little bit of a service on this engine as well, just to make sure everything is still fairly decent and we're not going to run into any trouble or problems, you know, getting stranded next to the road with this thing. So what I would like to do is get it up onto our two-post lift here and just yank the wheels off and have a proper go at the suspension and see what we really need to do. So let's just quickly get this thing into position, get it lined up over here. Alright, so that should do. It's more or less kind of center on the two-post lift here. And we're just going to go ahead and push these arms in, make sure it's going to catch the truck. And then we're going to just go up slowly. Just want to see what happens. Alright, seems to be level. No problems there. Alright, that looks good. And we are going to need our wrench to take off the wheels, because the wheels are obviously mounted since we replaced all of them. Alright, so let's just unbolt these. Nice new chrome wheels of ours. Alright, so with the four wheels removed, now we are going to be able to hopefully get to all of these brake parts and yeah, just in general inspect everything. So as I said, this brake caliper, it looks decent, but yeah, you can clearly see it's worn quite a bit. So we're going to have to maybe just replace the whole thing. I'm not going to waste time in trying to use alt disc pads, so we're just going to go ahead and replace those. So I think the obvious part over here that is ruined is the brake disc. So let's try and get that removed. So we're going to just grab our screwdriver and unscrew it from the actual hub. And then, yeah, obviously we're going to have to replace that. And then let's just have a look at our hub itself. Alright, so the hub itself isn't too bad. That is still fairly decent. I would reuse that. And then just want to have a look at this steering knuckle that we have over here. It's also tied down to the tie rod over there. Right, so there's the knuckle. It's also a little bit rusty and crusty, so we're going to have to replace that on this end. There's our half axle, which is also a little bit bad, so we're going to replace that as well while we are under here. Shock absorber doesn't look like it's rusty, so we'll just leave it be for the moment. We're not going to bother with parts that look good under this truck at the moment, such as the steering link, torsion bar. Well, not really torsion bar, but the tie rod itself looks decent still. Over on this side, we've got a very thin brake disc, so let's just grab our screwdriver. We're going to replace the brake discs on the front, both of them. Right, so there's that one. And the wheel hub on this side looks bad in comparison to the opposite side. Brake caliper itself also seems to be a little bit on the poor condition side. Yeah, that is obviously something we're going to have to replace. As well as the wheel hub, which is rusty over here. We're going to swap that out. And let's also just inspect our... Yeah, what is this tire going to stay? It should stay there now. I also want to inspect our steering knuckle while we are at it. And there we go. Alright, so it looks like the tie rod comes with it. And there's our half axle that's also a bit banged up. Alright, so as for the tie rod, yeah, it looks like it's kind of stuck at the moment on this thing. But the actual hub carrier itself seems to be decent, but we are going to have to replace the half axle, so that must just stay like that for now. So yeah, that is everything on the front end suspension part. It looks fairly decent here. The drive shaft still seems fine. Transfer case looks good. The exhaust still looks very good as well. So yeah, there's nothing really else putting my attention towards parts that need to be replaced there. Here at the back, however, let's just grab our screwdriver. So I see the little screw for the brake disc is still in here. We're just gonna get rid of that and just take it off. We are going to need our pry tool. So let's grab this quickly. So I do want to get the pry tool for the brake shoes, so we can remove these and just inspect them separately. Right, let's do this one as well. Right, so that is, yeah, that's a little less worn than this one. Well, it's actually a lot less worn. That one is almost, yeah, on its last legs, but this one is almost new. So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but yeah, I guess it is what it is. Right, so this wheel hub, yeah, I would say let's just go ahead and replace it. Let's check out the brake hose here as well. Yeah, that is also not the greatest, but yes, shock absorbers, drive shaft, differential, the rear axle itself, the handbrake cable, everything else looks fairly decent over here. Let's also pop off this brake drum. These things can get a little stuck, so let's just try and yank it. There we go. Alright, so this brake drum is actually still brand new. Well, not brand new, but still fairly new. Let's just grab our pry tool. Alright, let's see what these brake discs are like. Oh, so that one is still very good. And this one is quite badly worn. Alright, so that almost brings me to a conclusion of should rather put these two together on maybe this side. It all depends on what the condition of this hub is. If this hub is good, I'm not gonna really have a problem with anything on this corner. So let's just see. Alright, so this hub itself, yeah, we might as well just go ahead and replace that. And then obviously the brake line, we need to check that, because that is a very critical part of the brake system at the back. So that one isn't terrible, so we can just go ahead and put it back. Alright. And the axle itself, yeah, it's hard to tell without removing it, but as I said, I'm not going to take parts off unnecessarily if they aren't rusty at the moment. As I said, leaf springs, shock absorbers, everything actually seems to be decent. We've got a, yeah, I don't know if this is really a rusty or if it's just the way that the sun is glaring on it. But yeah, that actually looks decent still, so I'm not going to bother with that, but we are definitely going to replace some of these parts like the wheel hub on both sides actually. The one on the front on this side actually doesn't look too bad, so we might actually just reuse that one. Leaf springs at the front, I haven't really checked these. They still seem to be fairly decent, so it's not so bad. We're gonna just roll with those and we'll keep an eye on them as we're using the truck. If anything else goes wrong, at least we know our brakes are good. That is the most important part for me. Considering we've got a turbocharged engine in this thing. Well, it's a turbocharged diesel engine, obviously. But yeah, you don't want to go taking chances with brakes like this. So yeah, that is why I say it's just always important to make sure your brakes are working. That is the reason why I also did the brakes on the 67 Limpala here, although this thing has got less horsepower than any other vehicle we've got on the premises. It still has good brakes because that is a safety, yeah, precaution, I would say. But yes, I think that is what a bit of work we've done in this episode. We've got 2 projects done, so Richard's BMW can go back to him. We've done everything that he wanted on this car. Sadly, there are no turbochargers available for this car. Otherwise, he would have gone with a turbocharger as well on this engine. So yeah, maybe in the future, the actual designer of this engine, he might add something that we can get a little bit more power out of this engine. We could have tried to install some high performance spark plugs on this thing, just to see what it does, if it makes a difference. But yeah, that might actually be something that I'll rather try on somebody else's car, or, well, not really somebody else's car, but rather on one of my own vehicles if I do decide to ever buy myself one of these for myself. I will have a look at that and just do a couple of dyno runs and see if it makes a difference. But yes, as for Eric's 1968 Dodge Charger, this thing in Panther pink, I can't really recall why I'm walking around with the wrench. Let's just put that in the toolbox. But yes, this Panther pink 1968 Dodge Charger, I think it turned out quite well. I like the look of the wheels. I like the color that he chose for this specific car. It definitely works with the white interior, which is now completely refurbished. So yeah, everything actually is working on this car. We've even got some new head bulbs, well, headlight bulbs and taillight bulbs and everything installed, so all the taillights are working. Got some beautiful chromed exhaust tips. These blacked out matte black wheels, they definitely look the part. And with all the new chrome and stuff like that, everything is still very good condition on this car. I think this car is definitely worth a couple of bucks more than what it was when it got here. So yeah, that is definitely a win for us. But I think that is also going to be a wrap for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate every view, every like. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I will appreciate it very much. But yes, Until the next time, cheerio.